is Kamani Adams, and I'll be instructing the Game Design and Animation course for ACES Enrichment Center this June. So to go over a little bit about this course's concepts and curriculum, first allow me to introduce myself. Again, my name is Kamani Adams. I graduated from the University of Texas at Austin recently. There, during my college experience, I studied arts and entertainment technologies. I learned a lot about the intersection between video games and animation and interactive software. And so I have a lot of experience in that. I have experience working in animation, and I have experience working on student games and different kind of projects during my college career. And I'm excited to continue that and teach others what I have learned. So a little bit more about me, more on the fun side. I like to draw, I like to create games, and I like to make animations. I'm both experienced in 2D traditional animation as well as 3D computer animation, which I'm excited to share with anyone who's interested. And I love to use these games and use these animations to create stories and build new and creative worlds and just get all that creative energy out of my mind and into something that can be seen. And as a little bonus, teaching a games class, I thought it'd be appropriate to go over what my favorite games are. I'm really like Mario Kart, Breath of the Wild, Minecraft, and Portal 2. So for the course curriculum, the first day would be an intro to game design. I would use this day to just get everyone comfortable with what the class will be, some concepts we'll go over, the programs we'll be using, and what the overall goal of the class is. I really want to see what the students want to get out of the class and adjust from there. But I think it'd be important to go over the basics of game design and going over what makes the game fun in the first place. I think it's important to go over the brief history of video games and some potential icebreakers with that. And I want to start with a software overview. We'll be using and downloading GDevelop. It's a very straightforward gaming engine, but it's very effective in the things it allows you to do. And you can make some really interesting and complex and customizable games with it. So to start, after downloading it, I'll teach about downloading assets, and I'll give a little intro to the interface of the program. So for creating a platformer, we would start by creating platforms and going over how to create a player and how to make that player move and have physics and have interactions with the actual game itself. And so for day two, we would go more in depth into the game design. Once we're all familiar and getting more comfortable with the program, we can dive deeper into that engine and we can learn about how to do a score and how to have coins and how to have a death and a respawn and backgrounds and attacks and enemies. And so I think that would be a really fun thing to go over, and we would go at the pace of the students. So if they need more time, they don't have to have everything in the game, but if they want to learn more, there's all kinds of things you can add to it. We'll learn very simple coding. GDevelop has its own way of coding that's very intuitive and easy to learn. And so I could also go more into about the games industry and talk a little bit about that. What makes an indie game, how to make your own games, what do big studios do when they create video games. And so for day three, we would shift gears a little bit and talk more about animation, but relate it back to games because games often and always have some kind of animation element. So we would do a brief animation overview, go over the history of animation in video games, and talk about how we can put animations into our own game that we'll be creating with the program. So for the platformer, we'll learn how to create a character walk cycle. And so making your own character, making it walk or run, and then learning how to import the animation into the software so you can watch your own character do the animation you coded and created yourself. And so we can learn other game animations as well, if time permits, such as like an idle animation or jumps or attacks. And I would like to do a possible Blender demo, depending on the time. Blender is a really fun 3D software. It's free and it's easy to use. Depending on the time to go over this, it's something that could be really fun. And day 4, we would go over customizing your own game. So I think it'd be fun to take the game that we had made, and instead of using the assets that came with it, creating our own assets and our own sprites and drawing and planning things ourselves so you can make your game uniquely yours and not everyone's will look the same. So we can go over how video games work with art direction. There's all different types of game genres, and so what look should this game have based on its genre? What kind of tone and aesthetic do you want to go for? And I think customizing your game will really be fun. We can start off by creating a mood board to get out ideas, and then we can start by actually customizing the sprites and the platforms and everything else in the level. And then once that's done, we can continue working on your level design and building out what your game will look like, as well as incorporating the aesthetic. So day 5, start with a brief lecture, but mostly want it to be finished working. This is the final day of class, so you get to continue working on your game level, make sure everything's done, make sure you worked out all the bugs, make sure everything looks how you want it to, and then we'll end the day by presenting everyone's game and allowing everyone to play each other's game and see what everyone did, see what people did differently, seeing how the looks are different, and just getting to have that time to present something that you made by yourself. And so that's my idea for the games designs and animation class. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It is an opportunity to not only learn animation and game design, but it's an opportunity to do it yourself. Personally, I learn by doing. I'm very hands-on, and that's the way I want to teach as well. I think it is a great interactive experience for the students to learn how to create video games the way they want to, instead of being guided step by step, telling what they're like being told what to do, as opposed to giving you a bit more free reign and letting you make what you want to make while following the guidelines. So I think that would be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to teach this class, and I'm excited to see everyone there. Thank you.